And you thought business talk was boring.
3 entrepreneurs.
No rules.
Mr. Preneur TV.
Welcome to Mr. Preneur TV. I'm Shane Patrick Cruz. This is episode number 5. So as you can see today, it's just me. You get just this beautiful face right here. No Will, no Sam. Actually, they're here. If you heard that, that's Will. Because Will's in the background making noise now. So they're here, but it's just me on camera right now. So actually, let's give a shout out to them. Don't come in camera, just say hey. So Sam.
Hey guys.
Will.
What's up?
Good. So they're here, but it's just me today. So the reason why it's just me today is we want to do a special episode with a special person. To give you a background on why we're here with this person, I started a project. It's been 2.5 months now, I think. Basically the beginning of September. Called Portraits in Pink, which is a portrait project where I photograph breast cancer survivors. I actually got put in touch with this lady named Susan Groves, who is the founder of the Pink Tie Gala, which is a phenomenal event done every year here in Richmond. But she's going to tell you more about that and how that came about and where it is now today. So let's introduce you to the star of the show. Me. No, I'm just kidding. Let's introduce the actual star of the show, which is Susan Groves. So welcome to the Mr. Preneur TV.
Thank you for having me.
Please tell everyone what the Pink Tie Gala is and the story of how it started and how it's gotten to where it is right now today.
That's a very long story. But it started 10 years ago. With a little fundraiser that I wanted to do for my business, All American Insurers, and the more I read about breast cancer, at that point I'd never met anybody, had never even talked to a breast cancer survivor, but I agreed to do this little fundraiser, and we were just going to put a little bucket up on our counter, which is still sitting up there and probably has nothing in it, but we were going to match whatever donations we got from our customers, and I started reading more about it, and one night happened to read the statistic that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed in their lifetime. About the time my 12-year-old daughter walked into the room, and this big light bulb went off, and as a parent you just kind of go crazy, and I don't know how to do anything halfway, so my little bucket up on the counter was not ever going to be enough. So I decided at 3 o'clock that morning I was going to have this party, and everybody was going to come and have a great time, and we were going to celebrate life. Well, that first year there were 87 people. Most of them were drugged from me begging them in front of the tobacco company.
And where was the first event held?
It was at the Omni downtown, right across from the tobacco company.
Right.
And we had nobody there, so I stood out front of the tobacco company and begged people to come. And they did. We ended up with 87 people. But I met a lot of women that night that thought that breast cancer didn't affect them and had some really crazy ideas about if they didn't have a family history. So we decided next year it would be bigger. And in 10 years, it has grown to the premier event in Richmond. Last year we had almost 700 people. Each year I pick a group of breast cancer survivors and we spotlight them all year long. They take free dance lessons and they perform at the event, which has become a huge thing for us now. And after 10 years, I can't imagine my life without it.
So tell everybody, too, the name of the dance studio so everybody knows.
Rigby's Jig Dance Studio
Rigby's
has
Jig
given
Dance.
free dance lessons to our 60-plus dancers now in 10 years.
And why did you when we talked before, you had mentioned that that the people that were coming to the event almost felt disconnected in a way, and you just mentioned something
they
there.
did.
So then how did that lead into you creating the dance team?
I felt like they needed to have someone they knew. At that point, I had still had not met a breast cancer survivor. Since then, I've met thousands of them. The second year, we added the dance team so that women who had never met a breast cancer survivor, who didn't have a best friend, could now get involved in these women's lives. So we picked a dance team of 10 women. I put their faces on Facebook. I put them on the website. We put their histories everywhere. And people really got attached to them. They wanted to know how their lessons were going, and then they wanted to come and see them and share them on. And these women learned so much about breast cancer over the years. Each year we've added something different. Everybody thought you had to be 40. I added several dancers that were in their 20s. Men thought they were safe, so we had to have a male survivor dancer.
So the dance team is comprised of 10 women, right?
10 breast cancer survivors.
Right, and that's
each year,
changed over time too as well, right?
Right. Depending on the year, sometimes we've had as little as 6 and we've had as many as 12. It just really depends on availability, how they feel health-wise. I have a waiting list that I could fill the next probably 3 years of dance teams. We've tried to gear it towards different things. One year we had women that every one of them had no family history, so that we could point out to people in a stronger way, okay, you thought you had to have a family history. Here's 10 women and none of them have. We've had women that have all had different types of breast cancers. There's so many different kinds. We've had ones that were all in treatment. That was rather scary, having them all still in treatment, but we've had ones that have gone years and years with nothing, and then they've had reoccurrences. So we've tried to use the dance team not only as a way of showcasing and spotlighting that these women have survived this, and they're the strongest, most powerful women I've ever met. I can tell you, and now doing this 10 years, I've never met anybody that could stand up to one of them, because they are just huge in their spirit. There's just will to live is amazing. It's what gets me up every morning. I mean, I'm not a breast cancer survivor. Like I said, I never even met one until when this started. But those women, I mean, how can I not go to work? How can I lay in bed and feel sorry for myself when these women are out there and just, really putting out the effort, that enjoying their life and celebrating it every single day?
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. I mean, I've done almost 30 portraits now for Portraits in Pink, and I very, very quickly learned that the power that these women have in their own lives is pretty incredible.
It is. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And I am so thrilled every year to show these women to people, and to make them the face of Pink Tie every year is just a joy. I mean, people are so excited about them. People I've never even met coming up to them that night and wishing them well before their dance, and thrilled for them afterwards. And they get attached to them and become part of their life, and I think it's amazing. And I've enjoyed every part of it, every day of it. I mean, these women are now, 60 plus in the last 10 years, and they're all my best friends. I just couldn't make it without them.
There's some pretty incredible stories. I mean, one of them was that I did the video for so far is Kay Adams. She actually met her husband at the gala through Rigby's Jig Dance Studio. So, she told me if she'd never gotten cancer, she would have never met, the love of her life. So, pretty incredible stories coming out of there. What's been one of the main struggles you've had putting the foundation together from the beginning to where it is right now?
It's a big undertaking, more than I ever imagined. And as wonderful as it is 10 years later to have this huge event, it's still just me. It's when it was the first year and 87 people, and I threw it together in a couple of months, it was okay. 10 years later and 700 people, and it's a challenge. It takes a lot of dedication, which I don't mind doing, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm complaining about it, because I wouldn't give it up for anything. But it takes more than people realize, and it takes a great deal of my life. I have a business, I have, that I have to do, but then I do nothing else. I have no personal life. That's the commitment that this takes to do this and to do it right. And that, I'm a control freak. I admit it here on TV. I'm admitting it. I'm a control freak. But I want it to be perfect. This is my baby that I've grown. I want it to be perfect. I want it to be everything it can be. I want to raise more. There's never going to be enough. My goal is what everybody else's is. I want my daughter, when she's old enough to worry about it, to not have to worry about breast cancer. And there's never going to be enough money. There's never going to be enough that I can do. I can never talk to as many people as I want to. There just aren't enough hours in the day. I don't go to the grocery store that I don't stop somebody and talk to them about it. So but I need more time. I need to clone me like 100 times, and then I would be happy.
So on that similar note, people can volunteer for this.
Absolutely.
So how do they get in touch with you, and then in what context can people volunteer?
I will take people doing anything and everything. I have a storage room that needs to be cleaned right now, so I'll take anything. We need volunteers all year long. Everybody wants to volunteer that night, but this actually starts the night after it ends, and we never stop. It's an all-year process, and I don't think people realize that. I get lots of people want to volunteer 30 days from the event, but this really does take a year to go put on. So I'll take any volunteers that want to do anything from typing stuff for me to working our email list to faxing things for me. Anything in the world they can do to help, I will take.
Because the other side of that is, the reason I asked that is because you had mentioned before that you'd gotten sick one of the years, and it was kind of hard to move things forward with that. So,
well, that's another problem of being a one person operation. Nobody knows how to do anything. And at the year before last Pink Tie, I did get seriously ill, and I do have some issues with my health. And my children, I will tell you, who are 20 and 30 now, would like for me to quit and not do this anymore. But if I don't do it, a lot of people will be disappointed, and I don't want that. And there's, a lot of money that needs to be raised still, so I'm going to keep doing it. But I would like to find somebody who can take over and be my partner, so if something does happen to me and I can't do it, that it'll carry on.
So this has been going on 9 years now.
9 years, 10th anniversary coming up.
So what is the plan and the outlook for it and your vision for it the next 9 years?
I want it to just keep growing. I mean, we could stay stagnant in one little spot and not get any bigger, but I think it needs to get bigger. The more people that we can talk to, the more people that we can influence, the more companies that we can get involved, the better off we're going to be, the more growth we're going to have, the more money we're going to raise, and the more women that will allow me to reach out to. I mean, we've done smaller projects, but none of them have been as successful. We did a bachelor auction. That was lots of fun, but it didn't raise any money, and it didn't get to the women that we needed it to get to. I have smaller projects that I would like to do, doing some fundraising as far as different events, smaller events, but I don't have the manpower to do it. Dream-wise, I mean, I would like to fill the convention center ballroom at some point. I've knocked down a wall a couple of times, and I've enlarged it. It's the biggest spot left. I got some room to fill, so I'd like to fill it.
So for people that don't know, where can they find more information about you and the Pink Tie Gala? Your
best bet is my Facebook page, which right now I have 3,600 people on there, so get on there. It's just Pink Tie Gala. Or our website, which needs to be updated, which I need a website person, is pinktiegala.org.
I think we know somebody.
Pinktiegala.org.
He's in the room.
Or you can just call me, and I will talk to you all day long about it.
Great. Well, thank you very much for
being
a part of this, and I appreciate your input on the project. The project wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for you and the women that you've been involved with. No, absolutely. It really is my honor to do that.
Yeah. I think that anything that anybody can do that brings breast cancer to the forefront outside of October is a wonderful thing. You'll see Pink just disappeared November 1st, and it's killing me. But we talk about breast cancer all year long. So
awesome.
We appreciate you doing it.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, thanks guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Just to give you guys a quick heads up, we're doing another live taping of Mr. Preneur TV at Virginia State University on January 29th. So if you want more information about that, you need to go to mrpreneur.org or contact Sam or look up Sam's Facebook page. So, and also next time we'll have Sam and Will on this side of the camera again. So we'll look forward to next time. Thanks guys.